All right, guys, I got this nice old Sterling from Paul over in Sterling, Virginia, not too far from where I am. Beautiful, beautiful lock, nice patina on here. It's in actually pretty good shape, almost a collector's item, if only the key worked. And unfortunately, Paul says it's a little bit stiff. He says, but it does work. There we go. So it does work, and you can see it turns about 45 degrees before we get it open. So let's see what the locking mechanism looks like. It is a spring-loaded locking pawl, and it doesn't look like there's a cutout on the shackle, so perhaps if we can shim that side, we might be able to get into it. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Before we even take a look at that key. No. Let me try, see if I got a little deeper. A little bit bigger one. Go down there a little bit deeper. Looks like he's going. No, so there must be a cutout on the other side of the shackle that's down below, like way down in here. He is not. He does go all the way down, as you can see, and we do not get an open. That's okay. Let's take a look at this key, though. And this is what makes this a really awesome lock. It's an original key, original bitting, and look at that. Talk about a gatekeeper right up in the front. What a beautiful old key. Anyway, he does work, but I guess over the years, one of these pins has gotten a little bit worn. Difficult to tell which one, and it's not opening him reliably. It does work, just got to kind of jiggle a little bit. So let's see if we can pick it. I'm going to try top of the keyway, I think. I'll do this in my hand. That ought to work. I think I can hold him. Like that. And I'm going to need a pick. I can use, it's a pretty wide open keyway, as you can see. I'm going to use a nice, the Attila, nice 25 thousandth. Good amount of rise on it. All right, all the way in. Let's try it with light tension first and see what he tells us. I probably should have shot some WD-40 up in here. It does feel a bit gritty. I've got one binder, pin 5, and he is really, everything else is springy. So I might as well lighten up on the tension. There, he kind of clicked up. And I might have overset him because nobody else is talking to me. Let me apply a little more tension and see if I can force something to bind. And it's not. So I overset that guy. Let's recock it. And let's try it again. This time I'm applying moderate tension. That was pin 3. Pin 5 is also stuck again. And everybody else is still springy. Dang it. All right, lighten up. Okay, he gave kind of a jerky little crunch there. I think it's just dirty. I think if I shot WD-40 in this lock, it might work a little smoother. That was 2. That was 3. Give a little tension to make sure. I don't know what the spring tension is. I wasn't paying attention when I turned the key. Felt a slight turn on the core there. So I think we're headed in the right direction, but there's just so much gunk in this thing. Trying to look at how much junk is on the key, on the pick. Okay, that was 2 again. That was 2 again. All right, this time I'm going to lighten up, let everything fall. Now I'm going to apply heavy tension. And I know it's probably going to be 5 again, so I'm going to start in the front and see if anybody else binds. There we go, pin 2. Got a little click. Pin 4. Got a little click. 3. That was 2. He was like 5. And he's really bound up. Definitely picked him out of sequence. Let me check everybody else. I'm going to force him. He's the only binder. There we go. That was 4. That was 3 again. Well, I screwed up somewhere. There we go. That was 3. We do have an open. And there is definitely, look at that, hanging open. There's a lot of grit inside of this old lock. There's no way to gut him or anything. So I'll tell you what, let me go ahead, just out of curiosity. I am going to squirt some graphite up in there. First, I'm going to put some brake cleaner in there and clean all the gunk out and degrease it. And then I'm going to put some graphite in it. Let's find out if it's a little bit easier to operate and find out if the key works a little more reliably. So I'll be right back. It might be a little bit overkill, probably is, but I'm going to take a rake and just rake that in. I did use some brake cleaner on this, and I left the shackle open, and when I sprayed it in there, all kinds of black goop came up out of it. So somebody had put oil in there, God knows how many years ago, and it had just gotten crudted up. So that's one reason you don't use oil. Graphite and, of course, WD-40 is always okay. I'm going to clean this key off, too, just in case there's a piece of built-up goop on some of the bitting that could over-raise one of the pins, make it not so reliable. All right, now the only dirty thing is my hands and my workbench. Let's try to see if it's any easier. Look at that. Look at that. That shackle is still real tight. Now that's working a lot better. But notice, I was going to say, the core is still tight, but notice how now it kind of springs back by itself. What a lot of difference. Just a little bit of lube made. I'm looking in here trying to figure out why we could not shim it. And there's some edges cut into this locking pawl that probably would have stopped it. There are no sharp edges on the sides, though. So there must positively be a locking pawl on this side as well that was stopping it, because we were definitely bypassing this one. Just we couldn't reach deep enough to bypass this side. Anyway, guys, a little bit of lube. That's all it took to take this old Sargent, turn it from a not-so-reliable lock to a perfectly reliable lock. Anyway, I appreciate your time. Stay safe. Stay legal. As always, I appreciate your support. Click on that thumbs up. It always helps the metrics. Be sure and subscribe and click the notification bell. And if you'd like to become a LockLab supporter, that is also easy, and I really do appreciate your support, guys. Thanks.
LockLab, where the fun begins. LockLab, where the fun begins.